It is the Positively Petland Show, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. Hopefully everybody is having a nice weekend. We're talking with Ron Solsrud, co-owner of Petland in Iowa City. Petland over near Lucky's Market. And jam-packed full of all of, well, you're wrapping up your summer stuff, but now you've got winter stuff coming in the door yet?
Yeah, we've got stuff coming
Pretty
in. Yeah,
close.
it's coming. Actually, we're getting ready for the fall right now. So we've got a whole Halloween theme going on, coming into the store and getting out. And then right behind it, within a week, we're getting the winter stuff out there so that you can get that. We bought 5 times more boots, 5 times more jackets. So last year we just kept on selling out. And so we've beefed up everything on that. Really cool apparel that we've got coming out this season. We have an apparel manufacturer that changes it up every year. And so it's just neat to see the different fashions that they come out with. I mean, for dogs, just different fashions. Right. So that's just neat.
Dogs, cats, different things. If you want to dress your dog up, I never did with mine. But one thing I did do with my old Great Dane was just put regular socks under their feet. Yes. But now they even make, isn't there a glue-on stuff that can help the pads? Have you ever seen this?
It's like lip balm.
Yeah. Yes. That's what you were talking about, is you'd actually dip your dog's pads from their feet into this balm, yeah, and it helps protect them from the colder temps. Here we are, beginning of September, and it's still warm out.
You can actually use it right now if you have paws. If the bottom of their paws are kind of rough, that means they're dry. And around your house, and as they're bouncing all over you, if you want nicer paws, just get this lip balm. Within a week, they'll be softer than all get out, and they're just more healthy at that point. In the wintertime, that works really good for them because it's a nice moist paw that then insulates them from the cold and everything. So.
And I mean, just think about it. You would never walk outside in colder temperatures or even hot without any shoes on or protection or anything like that. Think about your puppies. Think about your dogs. You got to take those precautions as well with them.
Yeah. So all that stuff is coming in. You know what we do have right now is all the Hawkeye apparel. So we've got the shirts, the leads, the collars, the harnesses, and all that kind of stuff. So come on in and check all that stuff out.
Siberian Husky. They can be a little bit of a. Is that what you wanted to jump into?
Yes.
Yeah. If my image of them, or how I perceive them, is they are just a beautiful dog, but they can be temperamental.
They can have a lot of energy. So I know, Jerry, just a little earlier you were talking about if you don't want an energetic dog, then you want to educate yourself and find out what is in that boat. The Siberian Husky, flat out, is an energetic dog. Do not get the Siberian Husky because you want to snuggle up to a dog all day long. At one point, when they're really tired, they're going to want to snuggle up and do that. But we'll go through a little bit of their history, a little bit about their temperament and all that. And what we like to do is pose this to you and say, is this the right breed for you? So bred in Northeast Asia as a sled dog. Oh, by the way, I am on PetlandIowaCity.com. I just clicked on breeds and then looked up Siberian Husky under that. I'm just going to read through it real quick because it's a nice short description of what they do, how they are, where they come from, and all that. So bred in Northeast Asia as a sled dog, and I think we all kind of understood that one. The Siberian Husky is known for its amazing endurance, i.e. energetic, and willingness to work. Its agreeable and outgoing temperament makes it all great all-around dog, suitable for anything from sledding to therapy work. So, a lot of the breeds that are out there, how do you treat them is how they respond back. So if you're very playful and you're engaging intensively, well, then they're going to be that kind of a dog. If you're a little laid back, then they're going to be more laid back. All puppies are going to be puppies, which are energetic. Then they mellow out over time. So even for therapy work, Siberian Huskies thrive. So because it originated in cold climates, Siberians have a thicker coat They often call it a double coat than most other breeds of dogs, made up of a dense cashmere-like undercoat and a longer coarse top coat. All colors from black to pure white are allowed, but a variety of markings on the head is common. We also often call the figure on the front of their head. It doesn't always occur, but it kind of comes out as a clover leaf of white on their forehead. So the history of the Siberian Husky is widely believed to have originated from within the Chukik tribe off the eastern Siberian Peninsula. These dogs were used in 1908 for the All-Alaskan Sweepstakes, which consisted of a 408-mile-long dog sled race and served in the Army's Arctic Search and Rescue Unit during World War II. So it's got some fun history, but even in its history, you can see that this dog loves to run, have fun, and all that kind of a thing. Temperament: Siberians are relatively easy keepers, but their thick coats require weekly brushing. That's due to shedding. So
that's kind of what I meant as far as temperamental, is not that they're an aggressive or mean dog in any way, shape, or form. Every Husky that I've ever known has always been curious.
Yes.
Curious, but friendly.
Yes.
And that's what I meant by temperamental, is just kind of, you got to kind of get used to them being them.
Right. They're going to be engaging.
Does that make any sense? Yeah, engaging. That's a perfect word for it.
They're going to say, "Hey, what are we doing now?" Kind of a thing. So, and then it's going on. New owners should be prepared to provide an outlet for exercise daily, whether through walks or an enclosed space in which to run. Predatory instincts are strong, so Siberians should be supervised around small animals in and around the home. That would also be true with most dogs. What I have found over the years is you can show that your other pets are part of the pack and that they're not food sources. So if you have a rabbit, you want to be cautious at the beginning and show that this rabbit is a pet. So as you're holding the rabbit, petting the rabbit, the Siberian's going to come up and it's going to smell and say, "What's this all about?" kind of a thing. Over time, it's going to understand that, oh, this is part of my pack. And they tend to get used to it. Now, with that, I've always said, because we have had 2 dogs, a cat, and a bird all at the same time. And we always were cautious when the cat was around the bird. The bird around the dogs was hilarious because the bird gave both the dogs a honk on the nose with its beak. Those dogs didn't want to have any part of that bird ever. So he'd come out and they kind of would just go into a different room. Now the cat would kind of do that prowly thing. And so we just would always play with everybody and just, hey, be cautious and all that. And I think that's the way you want to work with your pets when they're around some.
Would it be fair to say that I think this is probably an obvious question or statement that I'm going to make. It's obvious, but would it be fair to say start them out both together as young as possible rather than introducing a bird to an older cat who's kind of just set in its ways going, "No, this is my house. What's the bird doing?" Try to start them out.
Yeah, it's always easier when pets are younger. So if you do them all at the same time, or, it is easier. Potty training is easier. Training them not to bark is easier, and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, younger is easier, but you can train you can train an old dog a new trick. Why am I not saying that right?
You are. Teach.
There it is. Yes, it's the wrong word. Okay. You can teach an old dog a new trick. And Callie is my case in point. She's over 15 years old and we continue to work with her on training. And she just takes it all in and goes, "Thanks. I love this. I love being interactive." The Siberian Husky will do exactly the same. "I love that you're paying attention to me. I love this training that you're doing. Here, I'll show you that I can sit for a second." Kind of thing. So it's finishing up. Let's see. Siberians do well around children, but tend to stay aloof. Kind of the cautionary. They want to protect their pack because that's what they were bred to do. They were introduced by AKC in 1930. The range in size is 20 to 23 inches tall at the shoulder and 35 to 60 pounds. I was talking like this size for large breed owners. That's a medium-sized dog. for us small breed owners, that's a big dog.
That's a big dog.
So let's see here. And then on the environment side of things, as a apartment ? Not so much. And okay. Siberians, they're going to want to run. Very active indoors and out. Exercise daily, moderate to extended exercise. They love large yards.
And just from my
I love your opinions.
No, I was going to say that doesn't mean that the Husky wouldn't work in an apartment. It's just not very well suited for it.
No.
I knew somebody that had a Husky for a long time in an apartment, but they made sure that it got out numerous times throughout the day. You can't leave really any dog in a house for 10 hours while you're gone. That's not going to work.
Got to go crazy.
But the last Husky that I knew, no introduction to it whatsoever. I did not know this dog. It was the first time that I had met, and I sat down talking to my friend on their couch, and this dog came up, put both of its front legs on my shoulders, and literally rested its head on my left shoulder. And I just kind of went, oh, what a lover this dog is.
Yeah.
But it was an apartment. So that dog was obviously maybe a little bit more accustomed to being in a smaller environment.
Right. Over time. And then, but it's also the owner was
obviously,
was getting that exercise out. Here, if you have a large breed or a small breed and you're like, gosh, he's just always anxious, try exercising that dog and then coming back at it. I have a friend that has 2 golden retrievers. When they have guests over, she like a half an hour before they arrive, she lets them out the back door, lets them all run around. And then when they come in the door, they're exhausted. And so they just go, oh, okay, all right, we got some guests. That's good. But they're not all that jumpy and all that kind of stuff. They're worn out. I think when people see anxious dogs, they go, oh, it's tense and all that. It just wants to get some energy out. So that is the Siberian Husky. Next, we wanted to go into training for stay. And our little dachshund is doing some filing for you right behind you.
Not worried about.
Then dachshund, you go right ahead and start filing. So I wanted to go on this segment, our training segment. Every week I wanted to go over something. Last week we went over sit. How do you train your dog to sit? With training, we said consistency is key. Doing it frequently is also key, because the first time you try something, they have no idea what you're trying to tell them. Even the 10th or 20th time, they're still going, I see a pattern going here, but I'm just not quite getting it. And then they start going, oh, when I do this, you give me a treat or a lot of praise. I am going to continue to do that, kind of a thing. So that's key to training. So today, stay is what we want to work on. So stay is something that you don't work on from a long distance at the beginning. You work a very short distance. In fact, right in front of you, the dog is going to be. So that's how you start it. You get your treats in hand and all that kind of stuff so you can reward them when they're doing the right thing. So just like a foot in front of you, get them to sit, and you can, like what we did last time. Now it's stay. I use hand gestures too. So I have a verbal that I say, and I say it once, and then I do a hand gesture as well. So they get it from multiple sources, and they go, okay, I get what you're doing. My stay is just a hand, kind of like giving somebody a high five. And I just put that in front, and they look right at my hand whenever I do it. So I go stay. Now they're a foot away, and all they got to do is stand still. This is step number 1. If they stand still, give them a treat.
Greta, my Great Dane that I had for a long time, and it wasn't a training thing, but it was probably just habitual. Like if you do the same thing enough times, I never sat there and said, I'm going to get her to come over to me when I did my finger wave.
Yes.
But if I wave her over with my fingers, or when I used to wave her over with my finger, she would come right over, and I wouldn't have to say anything. I would look at her and then do the index finger, like, come over here.
Yeah.
Like you're calling a kid over. And you know what? She would do it.
And so you indirectly trained, and we do that
without even consciously thinking, going, I'm going to train Greta. It was just a habitual thing that started over years and years and years. And now when I used to just kind of go, here you go.
I think what you're bringing out is very important, because they're learning all the time. So If you want to train them good habits, make sure you do that. But realize when you pick a barking dog up, you've just trained the dog to bark. So realize that they're always in a training mode. They're looking for patterns. How can I get more lifting up, more kisses, and all that kind of stuff? Well, if I bark, they pick me up. So I'm going to bark more so I can get picked up more. Just realize that. Or if I'm jumping up on you and you pick me up, yeah, I'm going to jump up on you more. So I love Jerry it was unintentional, but it worked. He just would say, come with, and then have his finger motioning the dog to come. But guess what? When that dog came to Jerry, he then gave it loving, hugs, scratches on the face, that kind of stuff. And the dog went, ooh, I like this. I want to do this more, kind of a thing, and probably said it in that way too.
Beth right now from our sales staff is stealing both of our babies tucked into their sweater right now. So,
and they're looking around going, yeah, I love this.
This is good. I'm perfectly happy.
Kisses for everybody.
So you have the Siberian Husky. Jeez,
that was really
the
good.
Siberian Husky. That's a new one even for me. The Siberian Husky. You have the Dachshund. You have the Pug. All in studio right now. 3 very different breeds.
Yes. So you're going to, those are different breeds for different people. So the Siberian Husky is going to be those that are energetic, want to go out and play. The Dachshund is kind of that in-between small dog where they love to play for a short period of time and then they want to lay on your lap. And then the Pug is just going to be a crazy, fun little dog, a small dog. So I always say a lot of energy in a small dog is somewhat easy. A lot of energy in a big dog is something you got to control.
Pugs have way more energy.
It's the muscles
than I ever figured.
Yeah.
Or imagined.
They're little plugs and all that kind of stuff. So getting back to training stay.
Yeah.
So we just did it so that they stayed for just a moment. They were just a foot away from you. You gave them the treat. You did the hand. So you went stay, had the hand gesture, high five kind of hand gesture. And then they stayed. So give them a little lick of the treat or give them the whole treat. Now move away just a half a foot, whatever works for this dog, and you can go at their rate. Now move back 2 feet from the dog. If you might have to hold the dog at this point, and you just say stay. And again, if they stay for a moment, give them a lick, because we're at the beginning of all this training. If they were getting into this, you're now a week into training and all that, you're going to be able to lengthen that more. They're going to have their moments. You might even have their moments where they're so energetic, they just can't think, and you got to let them run and then come back to training again. But stay just starts at a short distance, and then you go longer and longer. That's the key to stay. Little Susie at my house, she's a little Maltese poodle. When she was a puppy, she'd come in and when we were feeding and knock over all the bowls because she had so much energy of all of our dogs and the water was everywhere. I had to train her to stay in her kennel. So I then said, stay, and we worked on it over time, got to the point where then she knew, she understood how to operate within where all the food was, so she sat there and waited. And then tail was wagging and everything. But then I said, all right, come. And then she came and she ate. So that's how you do stay. Start at a short distance, work your way longer. You got to go your dog's pace. Sometimes you got to do this over a longer period of time and they figure it out. Sometimes they learn it really quickly. Next week, we're going to go into come. So we did sit last week, we did stay today, and then come is for next week.
And again, just because I've been a dog owner or I've been around dogs for the better part of 3 decades, the dog is going to pick up on your actions as well. So if you're an erratic person, that dog is going to be, the probability is going to be that it's going to be more erratic and whatnot. You're bringing out, at the end of the show, you're bringing out more things. What do you...
How many minutes do we have?
Like 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're going to do this. We'll do this next week then.
No, go ahead.
What I wanted to do was go through dog food, and we don't have enough time for it, but generally, what I was going to talk about is dog food. Wherever you're at.
This is why I shouldn't ask questions, because the more questions I ask, the longer that the segment gets.
No, but see, what's great is we can always come back next week and do it. But what we're going to cover then next week is dog food. And where are you at in your dog food? hey, I'm buying it from a grocery store. I'm going to call that a little less than good in most cases. And in some cases, extremes, kind of poor food in general. The lower the price, usually the less quality it is. Okay, that's just in general. You, though, might be thinking right now, I actually would like to upgrade. I've been reading and looking and all that, but I am confused. Do I go to this route or that route? What we're going to talk about is taking baby steps in that process. Where are you at in your dog food selection right now? Take a baby step forward and say, well, you know what? I don't need to necessarily go big time into Origin, which is a great dog food, because you might be a little leery about pricing or what it's all about. Take a baby step and upgrade a little bit. And
I knew a dog one time that would not eat dry dog food, like it was starving itself. It was so picky that it would not eat dry dog food. You put wet in front of it, or if you mix in, an egg or something like that, or
Yeah.
some of the there's products out there, right, that you have at the store,
yeah,
that you can mix in to make
Right.
it sort of wet. That dog would not eat dry dog food for it was the pickiest dang thing I'd ever seen.
we probably, and it might have been, let's say the dog was having a bad week, might have felt sick or something. And then we introduced that soft food and it
Mhm.
said, ooh, now
Yeah.
I know. And you got to pull them back. And there is a strategy on how to pull them back. But yeah, some dogs are just, holy cow, you really yanked my chain right now.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll also talk about attractive foods. Some dog foods are more attractive than others to get them to eat the good food. I always say, I love Big Macs, and I love to get them at least a couple times a month.
Why? Because they're 100 feet away from your store?
Yes, maybe a little bit. I love those. And my kids would eat them all day long. Not even McDonald's says to do that. And so just because your dog loves something doesn't mean that it's good for them all the time. You have to make that decision. And then we can talk about how do I get my dog to eat this stuff, kind of a thing. And it's very much like a child not eating their vegetables. Well, then you're going to go to bed hungry today. So
really quick, what are the three? You got them sitting in front of me right now. What are the three foods that you have out?
We got right in front of us, we've got Taste of the Wild. We have it on sale. We've had it on sale for quite a while now in our sack house, and it's flying off our shelves. Now that Paul's is closed, Taste of the Wild was a main brand for them as well. So we're seeing even more. We're buying pallets every week of Taste of the Wild. And we have it cheapest in the city right now. And then it's also on our buy 10, get one free. Heartland Naturals is actually a Petland food. We're so much into dogs, we now jumped into the food market because of what you tell us of what you're looking for in food. That's what I feed my own dogs, is Petland, Heartland Naturals. Go is another product that we have on the table here. That's from Canada. And it was one of those foods, we brought it in and everybody just started buying it. And we're like, wow, we tapped into something. They got a really nice story. So you can go to Petcurian and look at their brand Go, and they got a nice story to tell, and that's why I think people choose it. Nutro Max, I was talking good, better, best. Max is in the good category. Go, Taste of the Wild, and Heartland Naturals are in that better to above better. And then finally, Origin we have. Origin is the best. All these dog foods that I have are all good quality, and their first top two ingredients are meats and all that kind of stuff. Origin, top 13 ingredients on the Origin bag, all meat sources. That's the difference, and you're going to pay more for that one. But don't go from something you're buying in the grocery store to Origin. If you want to, that's fine, but it's going to be a price shock, and you're going to go, wait, am I really getting what I paid for and all that kind of stuff? Go a baby step. Try Taste of the Wild, try Max Nutro, try Go from Petcurian or Petland's Heartland Naturals. And that's a nice baby step. You're going to see that you're going to feed half as much. You're going to see a healthier skin and coat over the next 30 to 60 days.
Say it. It's been 24 minutes.
Yeah. Poop.
Less
poop is also a big thing, especially for your large breed people out there. You're going to say, wow, they eat less, so they poop less, and now I don't have to pick up as much, and that's a huge benefit.
There it is. Petland of Iowa City, east side of Iowa City. Where are you located?
We are in the Marketplace Mall right across from Lucky's Market and the new Joanne Fabrics and the movie theater. Come out, check us out. Sundays, we're open from noon until 6. And then Monday through Saturday, we're open from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Take advantage of our dog food, cat food. It's all on a buy 10, get one free. We track it for you. Our $5 nail trims. You can't beat a $5 nail trim unless you bought your pet from us, in which we'll do it for free. Just bring them on in. No appointments necessary.
Just out of curiosity, I don't think I've ever asked you this before. Do you have a website?
We have petlandiowacity.com. Check us out there. You get to see all of the puppies that we have in our store available right now on that website. You can go to Facebook, just search Petland Iowa City, and you will have them posted on there and all sorts of fun things, including a video of this broadcast right now. You can also go to YouTube, search PAWSitively Petland Radio Show, and we'll pop up. And we've got all of our episodes for many years on there. Peruse through there because there's tons of training, tons of reviews, all sorts of stuff going on.
PAWSitively Petland Show Sunday mornings right here on Iowa City's news and sports station 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you very much.